Please accept my apologies for not being able to be with you in Miskolc today in this conference. While you're watching this video, I participate in parliamentary committee meetings which are responsible to hear the new minister responsible for energy of the Hungarian government. I really would have loved to be there with you today in person and discuss the current challenges and matters about environmental protection. But please accept my short presentation about the government directions in the field of sustainability and environmental protection. We're going to discuss briefly the general directions, the objectives and measures already taken and to be taken, the importance of circular economy for Hungary, the consistency between economic growth and environmental protection, as well as the comprehensive environmental goals. We're going to talk about the National Environmental Program, touch upon the issues of air quality and noise protection, about technology and innovation, and we're going to mention awareness raising and environmentally conscious thinking as well. When we come to the directions in sustainability, then you have to know that Hungary has set an ambitious goal. Hungary would like to become by 2030 one of the 5 member states of the European Union where it is best to live and work. In order to reach this ambitious goal, we have to have a horizontal approach. Besides protecting our natural heritage, the interest of future generations, and our national resources, we also have to be aware that it is not an objective to be reached without accelerating the transition to circular economy. We are proudly and happily participating in international cooperation at whatever level, at the UN level or in the European Union, bilaterally or in regional or sub-regional cooperations. We think that apart from trying to cope with the sustainable development goals, which are global, we all have to be aware of our regional and sub-regional particularities that we really have to take into consideration the circumstances we're living in. That is, for instance, in our case, the particularities of the Carpathian Basin. We, apart from these mentioned goals, also believe that when doing the transition towards a circular economy, we're going to increase competitiveness and we're going to create financial and social stability. We think that our 2030 vision is based on prosperity, security, cleanliness, sustainability, and sovereignty. We would like to protect the health and quality of life of Hungarian families and communities, and that we think that it is the way to protect and preserve the natural environment of the Carpathians. Of course, we have also some general objectives and measures that have been already published or been taken, and we are on the way to a transition towards an innovative, green, digitized, circular economy. And we have already declared certain objectives that are essential in this regard. We think that in the beginning of the 21st century, one of the main challenges is to evaluate correctly the long-term effects of our decisions on future generations. We are certain that the transition towards sustainability can only be realized if the 3 pillars of sustainable development are strengthened in a complex manner. We think that this horizontal approach is reflected in many of the efforts and decisions made in the past years, and we try to maintain the results already reached, and we would like to continue the work in this regard. We are in a situation which is relatively easy in this regard, concerning that the legal environment is favorable. The Hungarian fundamental law is one of the few constitutions in the world which extensively mentions environmental protection and sustainable development, the latter also in the framework of international cooperation, which is essential when we come to bi or multilateral cooperation of the country. We think that in order to protect the created world we're living in, we have to cooperate not only within the nation, but with other nations, as many of our challenges are truly international and global. But of course, we have to take into consideration our own particularities, as mentioned before. Therefore, in 2020, the Hungarian government has adopted its own climate and nature protection action plan, and the Hungarian parliament has its own national sustainable development strategy. When we come to the importance of circular economy, it is essential when we would like to face the challenges of nowadays. It means economic, social, and environmental sustainability at the same time. And when you look at the decisions made by the Hungarian government in the past years concerning the protection of families and the protection of children, then you'll see what we mean by maintaining social sustainability and how to address demographic questions, as it is also part of it. And you have to know that we believe that economy and environment can live peacefully together, so economic growth and ecological stability can go hand in hand. When we look at circular economy, then it is obvious that it has to be a priority when regarding the government's objectives. And we think that it includes many elements. But we truly believe that the developments of technology innovation is one of the key issues which we have to face, because it is, of course, awareness raising and environmentally conscious thinking is something very important. But without the minds of our ingenious colleagues, engineers, and others in our societies, we will hardly be able to reach our goals. Therefore, we count on the cooperation of the society in order to reach these objectives. We also have an ambitious goal not only to preserve and maintain, but also to improve the condition of our waters, lands, forests, and therefore we would like to reach Hungary, which is even better to live in than nowadays. When we come to two important questions in this regard, and we have to mention the circular water and waste management systems. When talking about Hungary, you might have heard that we are going to introduce a concessionary waste management model, which is in reality just part of a transition to circular economy system. We would like to strengthen the prohibition of illegal waste disposal, so we set stricter sanctions for these acts, and we are also introducing the extended producer responsibility, as many others in the European continent. We are also aware that the circular water management is essential, and we would like to create the regulatory framework to reach this objective, as Hungary is very rich in water, but nevertheless, if we cannot use it wisely, then we can also face challenges in this regard, as it is obvious after certain elements during this summer that happened, for instance, in Hungary and in many other European countries. Therefore, we have to change such climate questions in Hungary as well. But we are aware that economic growth and environmental protection, as already mentioned, can go hand in hand, and that innovation and technology and the cooperation of the members of the society and the economy may help to reach this objective. We have comprehensive environmental goals. We think that sustainable development is makeable in Hungary and in the region, and that it is going to help to protect the health and the quality of life of the members of the society. And we know that we have unique but also global challenges to face. We are very happy that actually in Hungary since 2000 the GDP has increased while carbon dioxide emissions have decreased, and since 2010 Hungary was able to produce 1 unit of GDP with 24% less greenhouse gas emissions in the Hungarian economy. We were one of the 21 countries who were able to achieve this kind of economic growth. We really would like to take advantage of the potential opportunities that are inherent in the waste management sector, and we truly encourage innovation in this regard as well. We really think that waste is a resource, something that we have to think differently about in the future. Therefore, we introduced a new system. This new legal framework also encourages us and the actors in the economy to be more responsible in this regard and to try to renew their attitude towards the waste management sector. We know that we have very ambitious goals set by the European Union. In order to reach these goals, we have to work hard to maintain the results already reached and get further and get closer to the results and ambitions set by the EU. But please let me allow to talk shortly about the National Environmental Programme. The National Environmental Programme, which is before the Parliament right now. It is valid until 2026, and it is a strategic framework for achieving our environmental protection goals. It aims at improving the environmental condition of Hungary, but it also shows certain results made in the previous 6-year term. For instance, we were happy to see that we have a growing reuse of waste, that we decreased waste disposal, we decreased air pollution, we improved the quality of potable water, and we improved also ecotourism during the last session, and we are determined to improve the environmental circumstances of Hungary further during the 5th National Environmental Protection Program in the coming years. One of the main challenges that we are facing in Europe right now is air quality and noise protection. We are enhancing this system in Hungary too, but the National Air Pollution Reduction Program, which operates since 2020, faces many challenges, and we know that we have a lot of work to be done in the next years, and we are determined to continue the work in the coming years as well. We know the health consequences for the society. Therefore, we think that it is a field where we're going to get, and we're getting right now, also a lot of help from civil society, from scientists. It is one of our common concerns, and we know that if we work on it together, we're going to find the way to improve our results here with, at the same time, maintaining economic growth in the region. We have other protection measures which we have taken. We are aware of the importance of renewable energy. We would like to increase forest areas. Hungary has set very ambitious goals. We are planting 10 trees after every newborn in Hungary in the framework of an extended program. And therefore, for instance, last year we planted 1.1 million trees after the little boys and girls who've been born in Hungary. But also there are other challenges which we are trying to face. We try to use the innovations, the methods already existing in the European Union, for instance. Let's see, the eco-label or other programs, for instance, the European Week for Waste Reduction, which is currently ongoing in Europe just while we are sitting in this conference, or while I'm talking to you via this video. And we have other plans and other programs which we are all either doing or promoting. For instance, we have a so-called PET Cup, which is an initiative, civil initiative, which collects the PETs in the Tisza River, for instance. So garbage from the river, basically. It's a boat derby, and it's very popular by the participants. Big companies, international companies too, are participating. Or there is a voluntarily for a Clean Hungary project campaign, which is one of the biggest campaigns in Hungary, where we try to free the country from illegally dumped waste. It is also in the framework of protecting our children and protecting our families, but we have a lot of other programs which we would like to continue in the future as well. When we come to the society, we also come to the question of awareness raising, environmentally conscious thinking. We know that it is a never-ending task of the states, and we think that when we create a supportive environment for innovation, we're going to get the results from the market and from the society. And therefore, we try to strengthen the social sustainability approach and attitude, and we try to raise environmental awareness. At the same time, trying to maintain the natural values and man-made values of the Carpathian Basin in the principle of protecting our created world, as already mentioned beforehand. And therefore, we are thankful for all the actors who participate in the implementation of the sustainable development of the individuals, the families, the businesses, all the civil organizations, and not only within the country, but also in the region, as we know that also for the Central Eastern European region, cooperation in this regard is essential. And I hope that our countries are going to continue in the future to this kind of cooperation, and not only continue, but also enhance and extend it, and that we can work together in science and in the economy towards a new and more sustainable future together. I wish you a very fruitful conference, a very successful event, and thank you once again for listening to me.